Sometimes life brings us to a place where the more we fight, the more exhausted we become. We want things to move according to us. We want people to behave the way we expect. We want situations to turn out the way we imagined. But life does not move according to our plans. And that is where the struggle begins. Deep inside we say, "Why did this happen? Why only me? What did I do to deserve this?" We search for answers, but what we often receive is silence. And that silence frightens us. Because in silence, there is no one to blame, no excuses to hold on to, only truth. We think acceptance means giving up. We feel that if we accept the situation, perhaps we will be seen as weak. But is that really true? Acceptance is not defeat. Acceptance is deep understanding. It is saying, yes, this has happened. Yes, this is a part of my life. And I am not running away from it. When we run from a truth, it follows us. When we fight it, it grows stronger. But when we look at it calmly, it slowly loosens its grip. Like a seed. When a seed is buried in the soil, it does not complain about the darkness. It does not ask why it cannot see the light above. It simply accepts that for now there is darkness. And in that darkness, it breaks. Without breaking, it cannot sprout. Without being pressed down, it cannot rise. We are no different. Sometimes life buries us in the soil, in the weight of relationships, in the pain of failures, in the silence of unfulfilled expectations. And we think, it is over. But perhaps it is not the end. It is the beginning of transformation. The greatest prison is not outside, it is within. We hold on to old events in our minds, someone's words, someone's behavior, someone's betrayal. We revisit them again and again, like touching a wound repeatedly. And then we ask, why am I still hurting? Pain does not always come from the event. Sometimes it comes from our resistance. We say, this should not have happened. But it has happened. To deny what has already happened is to keep our own mind imprisoned. Acceptance does not mean you like what happened. Acceptance means you are no longer running from reality. When someone leaves our life, we choose one of two paths. The first, we blame ourselves. We blame them. We blame the situation, and remain standing in the same place for years. The second, we gently say, perhaps this chapter was meant to end here. The sentence is small, but it carries deep freedom. Because when we accept that not everything is in our control, we regain our share of peace. Time is the same. Some people say, I wish I could change the past. But the past cannot be changed, and the future is not fully certain. What we truly have is this moment. And in this moment, the greatest decision is this. Am I at peace with this truth, or am I still fighting it? Acceptance is not a one-time decision. It is a process. Sometimes we accept, then the pain rises again, and we must accept again. That is not weakness. That is being human. Someone once said, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Pain is given by life. Suffering is created when we keep resisting that pain. If someone rejected us, the pain is natural. But spending years believing we are unworthy, that is a prison we build ourselves. Acceptance means, yes, I was hurt, but I will not let this hurt become my identity. Perhaps you, too, are holding on to something in your life that feels difficult to release. A dream that did not come true, a relationship that ended, an opportunity that slipped away. You keep thinking, if only it had happened differently. But life does not move on, if only. It moves on now. And in this now, the greatest freedom is to say, what happened has happened. I will learn from it, but I will not turn it into chains for my present. Acceptance does not make us smaller. It makes us lighter. When we stop resisting, space opens within us. Space for new understanding, for new beginnings, for new peace. The one who accepts is no longer a slave to circumstances. They understand life will not always move according to me, but I can choose how I live within it. And that is freedom. Perhaps even now there is something inside you that you are still fighting. Perhaps the very truth you are avoiding is the one that could set you free. Not everything needs to be changed. Some things need to be understood. And sometimes freedom does not come from breaking the door. It comes from opening it. Peace is not always found outside. It arrives when we learn to say to life, I'm ready to see what is. Some truths are not heard in noise. They are heard only when we become quiet within.